Creating a base design in Rust is all about balance. It has to be simple enough to set up in a high pressure situation while also sturdy enough to withstand any offline raid attempts. It also has to be set up to offer enough mobility for you to move swiftly throughout your base in the event of an online raid. Designing a base in Rust is not about the rocket cost, it's about achieving the perfect level of balance for you and your playstyle. Today I'll be bringing you a pretty solid solo duo trio Rust base design. This Rust base design will allow you to move freely enough throughout your entire base no matter where your teammates go AFK. The design itself also offers pretty significant offline raid protection, so you can go to bed being fairly confident. I've also left the third floor open so you can either make a mini copter hangar or a shooting floor, whichever one you think is more important for your playstyle. I'll be dropping the Builder Sanctuary code later on in the video after the build, so make sure you watch the whole thing and stick around for that so you can go and experiment with whatever you want to add to your own third floor. Anyway, let's get started with the tour of this Rust base design. So we got our roof ramp leading up to the airlock. Inside the airlock we've got some drop boxes just so you can depot and get right back into the fight. We've also got a shotgun trap, hopefully at head level, which will kill anyone trying to hop in your doors. Next we've got our research table and a couple more drop boxes. And heading deeper into the main section of the base, we've got 3 garage doors separating each side. In this room we've got a little bit more drop box storage just for your primitive gear. We've got a shotgun trap guarding the roof chute and another one underneath the chute just in case one gets destroyed. And now onto the rest of the main floor. You might have noticed a lot of empty space. That's so you guys can place whatever type of deployables or bags you want in here. In this room we've got our mixing table so you guys can make your extra HP potions or whatever other kind of drugs you're trying to take these days. Down here we got the drop down chute. You can put a ladder hatch or ladder. I'd prefer a ladder hatch. In this square room we've got all the bags for your homies, and then past this garage door we've got some more storage for all your dank loot that you're going to accumulate using this base. Past this next garage door we've got our furnaces and the main core. There's a decent amount of storage in here. Obviously, if you want to use shelves or anything, you could probably fit more. It's all up to you. Arrange it how you like, but this is what I've presented to you today. And here we've got the upkeep. It's about 2,000 stone, 33 high quality metal, and about 1,300 metal frags. Definitely pretty affordable for any solo, duo, trio, or quad. As far as build costs goes, it's also very affordable as well. With a little bit of effort, you can easily complete this base design on the first day of the wipe. Anyways, that's enough talking. Let's get right into this Rust base design. Alright, so we're going to start by placing down one low triangle foundation. After that, pick any direction and put down a high square foundation. Build yourself a little 1x1 on top of the square foundation, and that'll be your starter unit. Place down your door opening outward. This will be part of the airlock later. Place down your tool cupboard a long ways in the back right or back left corner, but make sure it's flat against both walls. Next, place down some boxes, a furnace, and your bag, and your starter unit is complete. If you have metal, start smelting it now. It'll be handy later. Go outside and place 2 more high foundations off the middle triangle foundation. Make sure they're stone, otherwise people will just be able to crawl underneath them. Next, seal off the middle triangle with some door frames and a triangle ceiling. Make sure you have enough wood for 2 more double doors as we're about to create our airlock. Make sure all 3 of your double doors are opening towards each other, and it'll create a little triple door airlock. No one can squeeze through, and you can't squeeze your partners through either. This will be useful if you have to fight off any door campers early in the wipe. Just make sure they don't get in. As of right now, your base should look like this. Once you're ready to expand further, look at your main loot room and then add another 1x1 on the square to the left. This room right now will be used for a workbench and some sleeping bags. As fun as the primitive stage in Rust can be, no one wants to stay there forever, so go get yourself some furnaces and start smelting your metal. You can place the furnaces in the middle triangle. Position like this and they won't get in the way at all, and you can walk right over them just like a normal floor. You'll probably want a little more loot space at this point as well, so place down a large box right in front of your TC like this. Make sure it's straight against the wall, otherwise you won't be able to fit another one next to it. Get rid of your small boxes and place another one just like that. You can then place your small boxes you just picked up right in front of the big boxes. If you can't be bothered to pick a box up, don't place this middle one down until you have a garage door in front of the loot room. Go outside to the last remaining naked square foundation and add off 2 triangle foundations. Right to the left of this area is your main loot room, so we're going to add a shelf in there by doing this. You can then totally seal off this triangle because we'll just be using it for honeycomb to the main loot room. After this room has been sealed off, then we'll use the next triangle to create the chute to the roof. But before we do that, just seal off the rest of this ground floor with walls. And on the opposite side of this square, add 2 more triangle foundations, as this will be another loot room. Apologies in advance to any new builders if this part is a little confusing. Use the sanctuary code later on in the video and you can go look at the base yourself and answer any of your own questions, or hit the comments. And next here, you can either use a wall frame or a door frame for this chute entrance. But for the example of the video, I'm going to use a wall frame because garage doors can be sturdier than single doors. We'll use a furnace for a jump up if you don't have a ladder yet. Next, just hop up to your roof and create the top section of your chute. If this is going to be your front door for the time being, make sure you use a metal double door as they open and close faster than garage doors. Before you place any sort of jump up to the roof, place a shelf inside the loot room next to your chute, otherwise you won't be able to place it later once you use the triangle roof jump up. Now that you have your shelf, go outside and place down a triangle foundation, upgrade it to stone, and then place down your triangle roof. You have to place it before you place a wall next to it, otherwise the top half of the wall will still be showing. If your roof ramp is too high to jump up to 100% of the time, add another foundation here so it's a little easier to get up. Once you're at this section of the build, make sure you start focusing on getting garage doors just so it's a little bit harder to raid through doors early on in the wipe. After all, if you have the garage door BP, there's literally no reason to craft double doors unless you're making an entrance. Once you have the resources, go up to your roof and start adding on that second floor. If you haven't added on your foundations underneath this part yet, just add some triangle floors and add the honeycomb after you're done. Place a door frame right outside your roof ramp and then place normal walls around the rest of the perimeter, and then seal off the entire floor with normal floors except one slot that you'll be using for your chute, which will be in the corner I was just jumping in. You can create your airlock there and then seal it off with a wall so you have a spot for your drop boxes. Create your chute in this corner by placing down a half wall and then placing a triangle floor on top of it. Then feel free to roof off the rest of this top floor. You want to get these floors made out of metal, otherwise it'll be insanely cheap to rocket raid using splash damage early on. Add a wall frame outside your chute just so you can later fill it with a garage door, and then add another entrance on your roof. You don't have to make this chute just as I do, you can make whatever type of design you like to make for your chutes. To make our second floor loot room, we'll place a wall with the hard side facing the front door, and then place a half wall and put 2 triangle floors in here to create a shelf. Upgrade them to stone or wood, whatever you want, and then you can add your boxes. After you've placed all your boxes, seal this room off with a window, so that way you can add a reinforced glass window to make it more expensive to get into this loot room. Add wall frames inside the middle triangle of this main room so you can fill them with garage doors later. Upgrade the 4 floors on top of the core up to HQM as soon as possible. Make sure that these 3 main square foundations are also upgraded to HQM. Now go outside and add some honeycomb outside of every high armored foundation you just made. You can make it metal or stone, it doesn't really matter. Also, don't forget to honeycomb right outside the chute. You want it 2 layers high so people can't just raid one wall and get right to the entrance to your main loot. The stronger that area is, the more mobility you'll have during an online raid. During the build, I forgot to honeycomb right here earlier. Make sure you do this ASAP. You don't want those soft sides of the floors exposed at all. Also, just reiterating, you want every single armored foundation covered. You don't want to leave any of those exposed, just so people don't know how wealthy you might be. After we're done here, we'll set up our drop box loot rooms in the airlock. Create another half-height triangle shelf, and then add barbecues on the bottom shelf. After that, you can place small boxes underneath the barbecues for some easy, compact storage. Place a large box on the top shelf with a glowing skin preferably so it distracts the eye from the shotgun trap underneath. To place the shotgun trap perfectly, stand where you want it to be shooting and have it pointing exactly towards where you are. You want it to be as close as possible to being behind the door so there's less of a chance that people will see it. Remember all those wall frames we put in? Yeah, start spamming garage doors in them if your metal frags have cooked. Begin setting up your deployables as they become available to you. And don't forget your mixing table. You can't cook any teas without it. Make sure that you metal up your roof as soon as possible. You don't want easy splash damage for top-down raids. If you don't want people to be able to splash your whole roof, but you also don't want to add anything to the top, put 1 layer of half-height triangle honeycomb in the middle triangle on your roof. If you see any vulnerabilities while you're building that you're nervous about, feel free to double sheet metal honeycomb. The build cost I posted at the start of the video is with double sheet metal honeycomb on certain parts of the base, so once you have the resources, upgrade all the walls in your TC room to HQM as well. Don't forget to add boxes everywhere too. Upgrade every wall and roof that isn't HQM inside your core to at least sheet metal. Upstairs as well, make sure you upgrade every wall on the square that faces the outside of the base up to sheet metal as well. You gotta keep all that dank loot safe. And with that, I think that's pretty much gonna do it for this Rust-based design, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I'm gonna be trying to get back to all the comments on this video, so just be patient and I'll probably get back to you. If you don't want to wait for me, because sometimes I can be slow responding to comments, definitely go check out the Builder's Sanctuary code and examine the base for yourself. It should be a good way to answer any questions about upgrading or deployables or any of that stuff. So go check it out, and thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.
Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a f, that's what they don't understand. I'm back again like flu season, I broke records while loose leaf, and I'm coming now, I'm